Hey everybody, we've got an older Shimano STX shifter here that is stuck in 7th gear, and regardless of pushing the buttons, nothing's happening, the derailleur's not moving. Super common issue with these older, any older Shimano Rapid Fire or even the Road STI shifters. But anyway, I'm going to show you what I do to repair these. If you look inside here, you can see where the cable access, the end of the cable just slides through. Sometimes they're going to have this little cover over that little hole. This particular one didn't have that, but we're going to need to slide the cable out where that little hole is there. So we can undo this basic shifter body from this part here, but we need to do first is remove the cable. If it's stuck in a different gear, you could probably just snip that cable and go ahead and unbolt this, but we're going to pull the cable out here. Off camera, I unbolted it from the rear derailleur. We'll show you how to put it back together here in a bit. But anyway, first thing we're going to do once we have our cable out, just take this bolt here that basically holds it in. You might take a picture before you pull this guy out, but it's just going to pull straight off. But you might take a picture just to get the reference right where it needs to be, because it can be kind of tricky to get this thing back in there. I made this little series of arrows. So the green arrows up top there in the shifter body, that's where the little shift indicator needle is. It's a little peg and it's plastic, and it goes into this hole that the other arrow is going into. The yellow arrows are just two little nubs that lock that guy into. They just kind of hold the shifter in place inside the shifter body. And then where the red arrow is, there's a little dust cap that has to go, it only sits on there one way, but you want to make sure to get that thing oriented right. But anyway, once you get this guy out, we'll pull that the little dust cover thing off there, and then just looking at the internals, really what the main part that gets these are just the original factory grease that's put in there when these are new. Eventually gets dry and kind of turns into a kind of a gummy tar type substance that doesn't just basically locks those little paws into place. You can see that little black piece that's looped over it. That's a little spring that wants to pull this thing down, but obviously there's so much resistance with that on that little shaft where that paw has to rotate that it just gets stuck in position, and that's why these things don't work. The little paw is stuck up just a little bit, so it can't engage into the teeth of that ratchet ring. So basically I just took the little screw off the dust cap just so we can access it a little easier. And I have it in our parts washer here, which is basically really hot water and baking soda mixture that's just in with this that guy. And I soaked it overnight. Obviously the water doesn't stay hot overnight, but this is what next morning it's still pretty sticky. It's a lot cleaner, but we're still really sticky there. So this one's, I'd say, on the scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, this one's probably at 8 or a 9. So a little stubborn, but I haven't seen any of them that you couldn't break free. You just got to get into it a little deeper sometimes. So busting out some of my favorite penetrating oil, this PB Blaster. It's pretty readily available in the US, but if you're somewhere else that doesn't have that, any kind of penetrating oil will work. But I've soaked it and I'm working this, and you can see it's starting to work much better now. It's starting to, you just got to work this thing back and forth a little bit. And I think I went and gave it another round off camera in the parts washer and some more penetrating oil. So I've got it just kind of mocked up back into the little shift holder there. I didn't put any of the dust cap or the outer or the middle one there. I just put a little washer in there just to kind of hold it in place with the bolt. So it's functioning fine now. I would put some kind of oil in there, just to some Tri-Flow or some kind of wet oil. Finish line green works really well, but just something similar, a wet oil just to lubricate it. I think it works a little better than the grease maybe that was put in there initially, but we're just going to put the little outer dust cap with a little Phillips head screw back in. So I had the bolt, the main center bolt there. I had that little washer on it, so as I'm grabbing that's kind of what I discarded there. So I was just had that on there just to kind of take the place of the dust cap piece. But anyway, we got her back mounted up, and so you want to have it in the 7th gear position like we had talked about, and there's a little hole in the white piece there. You can usually see daylight if you just look through it, so you want to push your wire through there, just all the way through, and get it set all the way into the little pocket. Put some new housings. I just cut them the same length as the old ones, and so I've got new cable and new housings as well. And then you always want to be real mindful. Same thing with the washer and the nut and everything. Before you unbolt this, you might take a picture with your phone just so you have a good idea how this went back together. It's a pretty common issue as far as getting that in the wrong orientation, and then it screws up the pull ratio and the gears don't work. So did a little fine tuning on that guy, and it's all good to go just with cable tension. Everything else should be set as far as all, you shouldn't have to mess with any of the limit screws or anything if that's good. On the left side, I just sprayed a little, just kind of a preventative. It was functioning, but it definitely got freer and the clicks got louder once I sprayed a little penetrating oil in there, just as a kind of a maintenance thing. Just wipe it all off, and then try every so often, just when you're doing maintenance on the bike, maybe once a year or something, you may want to flush that out with some penetrating oil. And if you have access to compressed air, that helps. And put your Tri-Flow or whatever kind of oil just to generally lubricate it in there after the fact, and that should keep it working for years and years and years. Just clipping off the cable here, putting a cable tip on it, and that's gonna complete this repair. Yeah, hopefully you found the video helpful, and if you're running into the same situation, yeah, feel free to subscribe. Got lots of other videos, lots of other similar videos and other bike related videos. So thanks for watching. See you guys next time.